the entire Thrace region as well as the entire country. And this project and this tunnel was made possible through many ministries, many public organizations, as well as contractors, engineers, workers, and I'd like to compliment them for their efforts. As you know, Ergene is one of the 25 river basins in Turkey, and it hosts 1.5 million people in this basin. Many agricultural products are produced, and similarly, in the region we have many organized industrial zones. Regarding the preservation of this basin, we initiated a series of investments, and these are primarily within the remit of local authorities. Local authorities in the region, unfortunately, for long years did not do what they had to do in order to preserve this basin, and unplanned urbanization and industrialization gave way to insufficient infrastructure, and industrial sewage was not treated and disposed of in the river, and as a result the water quality of Ergene deteriorated quickly. Come 2013, pollution in the river reached alarming levels, really serious levels, and this posed a huge threat on human health as well as other living beings. Faced with this bleak picture, we initiated an action plan. We operationalized the Ergene Basin Action Plan, and all the relevant public authorities were a part in this plan. And we spent 2.5 billion Turkish lira, and we implemented this plan with great decisiveness. So far, 395 kilometers of riverbeds were cleansed, and in 12 towns, advanced biological water treatment centers were established. In 38 towns, new sewage systems were constructed as part of this action plan. We also took precautions against floods. In total, 1,238 decars of area were targeted with 25 irrigation projects, 24 of which have already been operationalized. Right now on the screen you see the locations of these projects. Dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, industrialists also must assume responsibility. This was of critical importance for the success of the action plan. We outlined new organizational zones, and new water treatment centers were established as part of this plan, and industrial corporations that polluted the environment were warned, and we brought them together under new zones. In Tekirdağ, 5 treatment centers, and in the Muratlı organized zone, industrial zone, we operationalized a new treatment center. Ergene 1 and Çorlu 1 organized zones, treatment centers will be operationalized this coming August. Ergene 2, organized industrial zone treatment facility, will hopefully be operationalized within this year. And in the upcoming year, Velimeşe will be operationalized, and as such 350 individual treatment facilities will be no longer operational, and this treated water will be discharged into the Marmara Sea, and that's why we initiated the deep discharge line. 4.5 kilometers down the sea, a pipeline was installed, and the land line reaches out to the existing organized industrial zones, and through underground connections we are connecting all these areas, and the treated industrial wastewater will be discharged into the sea once treated. And in the next couple of months we will have the first discharge. And another leg of this deep discharge line is the tunnel, and in the cities that are covered by the line, for people living in these cities, we did all of this underground in order not to inconvenience people. Valleys and hills, each of them were overcome with two lines, and the sewage lines were brought into the sea. And today, one of these tunnels is being completed, and within the tunnel there is local and national tunnel drilling or boring machines named Lale is used, and shortly we will see the light at the end of the tunnel altogether. Turkey is one of the 8 countries that can manufacture such boring devices in the world, and all our competitors are developed nations. The diameter is 325 meters, 12,000 parts are found in this gigantic machine, which was designed by Turkish engineers and which was manufactured by Turkish companies. Our state has provided support to this company. If we had this machine in the past, the Bolu tunnel perhaps would have been completed in a matter of a couple of years. Today we are completing the construction of the tunnel, and the sewage water will be given in December. The other tunnel of the project will hopefully be completed mid-October, and this tunnel will receive water in March 2021. And as such, in our country and in Europe, we will have completed one of the largest environmental protection projects. Once we complete this project, more than 1,300 factories will be covered and supported by the system. Thanks to all these investments, the Ergene River's water quality will improve considerably, and clean water will flow from the Ergene River, and our industrialists will no longer bear the burden of treating sewage water or wastewater, and they will solely focus on production. But most of all, Ergene will be given a new lease of life. The experience that we gathered here will be put to use in other basins, I believe. Esteemed citizens, dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, Turkey, at the time of the pandemic, has been engaged in a healthcare battle, but we did not neglect our infrastructure investments, from dams to tunnels, from wastewater treatment facilities to airport runways. In many different areas, despite the pandemic, we completed a vast range of projects. Our industrial facilities, a vast majority of them, at the time of the pandemic, continued production despite all the difficulties, trials and tribulations. All our industrial facilities will continue to work to meet both national and international demand. We will continue to work. In 2018, as Turkey, we were subject to inflation, FX rate, and attacks, and we have thwarted these attacks. And unfortunately, we were hit by the pandemic in March. In April, we felt very severely the negative effects, but since May, the negative impacts of this pandemic is going down. Hopefully we will recuperate in a short while. When we look at all the indicators, we see that Turkey is at the precipice of a giant leap forward, from investment to production, from economic growth to creating new jobs. We will continue on this path, and we will continue to work to fulfill our goals. Everyone who loves their country and their nation should support this mobilization of creating new jobs and completing new investments. We will support this mobilization with all our means, and after the pandemic, it seems as if the political and economic order will be reshaped, and Turkey's future is bright in this new era. Despite the pandemic, thankfully, we were able to, within the first 5 months, only in organized industrial zones, 520 new factories were opened, from food to chemistry, from machinery production to furniture. We were able to operationalize these factories, and 8 billion Turkish lira was invested into these factories. Again, within the first 5 months, in order to support the investments of the private sector, 67 billion lira of incentives were distributed, and with the operationalization of these investments, 110,000 new jobs will be created. In the first 3 weeks of June, in the organized industrial zones, electricity consumption compared to May was actually increased by 26%. In the production industry, orders and in terms of capacity utilization, we are doing better and better day by day. Again, when we look at the first 3 weeks of June, when we look at the export numbers compared to May, we have done 25% more. And we see that in other countries as well, around the world, there's a rebound in Europe, and in many of our export markets, we receive positive indicators. This recuperation in other countries will hopefully translate into an increase in orders and demand for us. With this international recuperation, hopefully we will expedite the economic revitalization of our country, and in the last 2 quarters we will achieve significant growth as Turkey. Dear friends, many opportunities await us, but opportunities are like lightning strikes. They hit you and then they disappear. We need to seize the opportunity that is in front of us. We need to mobilize all our means. In order to do that, we need to focus on our unity, on our togetherness, and on our fraternity, and we need to take ownership of these values. In the last 7 years, Turkey has gone through a lot. Turkey has weathered many storms, but none of these could tarnish Turkey's unity and fraternity. These days, some people, by using different pretexts, are trying to implement the same script. For instance, recently, from employees to employers, unsubstantiated gossip is being disseminated. But we believe in the industry of our country, in commercial activity, production, and export of our country. We try to increase all these activity in all these areas, and we do our best to solve the problems of employees and employers. Regarding indemnities, we also have been doing our best. For all our employees, we want to preserve their acquired rights, and as the president of this country and as someone who worked as a laborer in the past, it is incumbent on us to get this right. Our objective is to make sure that indemnity rights of our employees are not left to the mercy of certain people. We would like to establish a lasting system for this. I always say employers, trade unions, employees, trade unions, they need to get together and they need to discuss this amongst themselves. If they fail to do so, the cabinet may well look into it, but that would be a display of ill intentions. And as a person who is the president, we would not want to be involved in this. Why do you not solve this amongst yourselves? Why do you not fix this amongst yourselves? If you can't fix it amongst yourselves, and if you hand it over to us, then you would be putting us in a difficult position vis-à-vis the employees, vis-à-vis the employers. Up until now, every step that we have taken has shown that we have always sided with laborers, and we will continue to do so. between Europe and Asia. We have this amazing strategic position, and on a global scale, we would like to turn Turkey into a global production hub. Our industrialists need to be given also incentives, and we offer loans and many other incentive mechanisms. We are implementing all these policies, but also we need to preserve the hard work of our employees. We need to make sure that they too are supported, and we will continue to work in this regard. High-tech production, software production, and artificial intelligence are some of the areas that we focus on, because these areas are highly promising for the future of the world, and we would like to be a trailblazer in this regard. No hurdle is going to keep us from fulfilling these goals. For years, environmentalism was manipulated to thwart Turkey's development, but the environment was bestowed upon us by the Almighty, and we have never used negative developmental attitudes of the West, and now everyone sees who is really damaging the environment and who is protecting it. The Ergene Basin Tunnel that we are operationalizing today is a manifestation of our determination to preserve the environment. With these sentiments, I would like to once again hope that this tunnel will be auspicious for Thrace and for our country. And the Ergene Basin project was made possible thanks to hard work of many people. I'd like to congratulate them once again and convey to you my deepest regards once again. And now we are going to connect to the tunnel. Our Minister of Industry is there. Our Ministry of Food and Animal Husbandry is there as well. Our Governor, likewise, is joining us there. We have representatives from the contractor company. Yes, our Minister of Industry and Technology, Mr. Varang. Mr. President, we are 25 meters below the ground. We are here at shaft number 7 in Ergene. We have MPs, mayors, and we have other local dignitaries who will be following us from above, and we send our deepest regards to you. The protection project, one of the most important components, the deep discharge line, is being operationalized today. This deep discharge, just like you have stated previously, is very important. We have land and sea tunnels and pipelines. With your permission, I'd like to give you some highlights about this project. You already gave us some figures, but Mr. President, now here you have the deep discharge system, and you see the map. Over here, the black lines span over 46 kilometers. These are the land lines, and 46 kilometers have now been completed. And this red line here represents 2 tunnels. And we are here exactly today, and Tunnel B will hopefully be operationalized today. We will see the light at the end of the tunnel. The excavation will be completed today. In Tunnel A, 775 kilometers have to be bored, and the machine that we have will go there to complete that line. And we have the sea line here. 50 meters below the sea, we have a line that spans over 4.5 kilometers. Hopefully, as of August, Mr. President, especially the eastern line, Çerkezköy Organized Industrial Zone and Çorlu Organized Industrial Zone, treated water on a par with international standards via the land line will be discharged into the sea in August. And this is an important phase for this project, and inshallah we will have the opportunity to invite you to that occasion as well. And also these connections will be completed very quickly, and we will continue to work on this project, and hopefully around mid next year the treatment centers and a vast majority of the connections will have been operationalized, and as such the Ergene River will flow much more cleaner. Without further ado, let us now continue. The local boring device, the machine, like you have stated, is something that we take very seriously, and this was made possible thanks to the R&D support that our state provided. And on 18th of September in Ankara, actually, the machine was completed and it was brought here for excavations, and for the first time today we are completing a project of this kind with a local machine, and this was made possible thanks to you and your support, and hopefully we will see the last bit of excavation shortly. With your permission, I'd like to hand over the mic to our Minister of Agriculture, and this is a very big project, and my fellow minister will give us some further details about this project. Mr. President, I am also deeply honored to be greeting you here today as part of the Ergene environmental project. We are here for the inauguration of the discharge line, Tunnel B. Under your leadership, Mr. President, we initiated many important projects, and Turkey has made great strides in terms of development and protection of nature. At the beginning of the 80s, unplanned organization of industrial facilities started here, and unfortunately pollution was on the rise. But thanks to your instructions, in 2011 the Ergene Basin Environmental Protection Project was implemented for the first time. So far we have invested 6.5 billion Turkish lira into this project, and many new phases will be completed in years to come. State waterworks also cleaned many riverbeds here, and in all of the facilities here, for all the facilities we introduced new criteria for treatment. On Maritsa, a new flooding warning system was established, and inshallah we will continue with this project, and clean water will be provided to the entire region thanks to this. 8 storing projects will mean that clean water and industrial water will be provided to the region. One more thing that I'd like to underscore is this. There are 10 organized industrial zones here, and 3 out of 5 treatment facilities have been completed. The remaining 2 will hopefully be operationalized next year, and this will give us the opportunity to treat wastewater and dispose this not in the Ergene River but in the Marmara Sea. There will be 2 tunnels that will lead to the Marmara Sea. In the eastern line, 99% completion has been achieved, and 95% completion has been achieved for the entire project. We believe that thanks to this project, environmental pollution will be reduced considerably, and the water quality of Ergene River will improve significantly. And inshallah, come next year, this project will be finished, and just like other projects that you have supported, this project is a testament of our love and respect for nature, for the environment. Mr. President, Çorlu-Çerkezköy and Denizköy discharge lines will also be hopefully completed soon, and just like you have stated, all of this is done thanks to the first boring machine which was locally produced here in Turkey. Only 8 countries have this tunnel boring device, and we are thrilled and we are proud that we were able to rank amongst those 7 countries. And also the Silvan tunnel tender was completed recently, and again for those projects we will be working with local contractors and using local machines. As the coordinator ministry, we administered this project, and taking this opportunity I'd like to thank you and other ministries and other public authorities and everyone who contributed to the success of this project. Mr. President, Once again, we would like to thank you for your vision and for initiating such important projects for Turkey. We await your further instructions. Thank you. Yes, dear colleagues, dear friends, of course, one thing that's really important here today is the fact that the TBM machinery known as moles, this is a gigantic tunnel boring machine, and the fact that this was produced locally gives us great pride. This is really something that makes us very proud. It's a huge accomplishment, I believe. Now, I'd like to compliment the company that produced this boring device. I'd like to congratulate them. This is not just significant for Turkey, but I believe that in other countries around the world, this TBM will prove successful and popular. Of course, in the upcoming period, in terms of sunflower production and wheat production for many agricultural produce, we will be able to work much more efficiently, and this agricultural output will be impacted positively by this project. This is a huge opportunity that awaits us, and Ergene, the river, will be put to use in a much cleaner fashion, and that will make us very happy indeed. Once again, I'd like to congratulate everyone who contributed to this project, all our former ministers and current ministers, all our bureaucrats, everyone who contributed to this project. I'd like to pay them my respect once again. This is a gigantic machine that is composed of 12,000 parts. We will continue using this machine. Our work is not done. We will continue to work on new projects, and if we are ready, let me tell my colleagues to hit the button. Yes, Mr. Varank and Mr. Pakdemirli and everyone else present at the site, let us be ready and say Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and wish this project well. Mr. President has given us the instruction to initiate the excavation. Within 1 minute, hopefully, we will see the light at the end of this tunnel, Mr. President. And this machine will be used in Silvan tunnels as well, and the diameter will actually be 11 meters. This was 3.25. The new machine will be 11 meters in diameter, and we will be among 4 countries that have done this in the past. And by the way, the same machine is being used in Cyprus as well. We are very happy with the contractor company, and we are proud of their work. Where will we use it? We use it in Cyprus, actually, Mr. President. In Cyprus, we are already using this machine. Right now, our MPs, our bureaucrats, technocrats are on the screen. I can see them, and I greet them all from Istanbul. Of course, today we had a central examination. Yes, the vibrations. Yes, we see the light. Yes, TBM is now pushing the boundaries. Yes, Mr. Pakdemirli, Mr. Varank, maybe it's not safe for you to stay there. We wouldn't want you to be harmed. Yes, sir, we are a bit scared, truth be told.
Burası gelecek. Şurayı alabilir mi?
Tamam. Şunu yıkamayacağız.
Evet, gelecek şimdi öne doğru tekrar bir hareket verecekler. Aslında şu an çıktık. Evet, hızlıca hızlandıralım öne doğru.
Evet, 3 metre 25
Yes,
santim
3 meters
çapındaki
25 centimeters is the
TBM'in
diameter
nasıl
of this
çalıştığını
TBM.
görüyorsunuz.
You see how this
Halk
boring
arasında
machine
köstebek diye
is
ifade
working.
ettiğimiz
This is
TBM,
colloquially known
evet,
as a mole. This
dönerek
TBM is rotating
önündeki engeli
and
ortadan kaldırıyor.
it drills a hole or bores a hole just like we see now.
Evet, hayırlı olsun.
Yes, may this be auspicious for our country.
Daha nicelerine inşallah.
Here's to many more,
Hayırlı uğurlu olsun
hopefully.
efendim. Sayın Cumhurbaşkanım,
Mr. President,
şükranlarımızı
thank you so much.
arz ediyoruz.
We are so grateful
Söylediğimiz gibi
to you
inşallah
for your
Ağustos
support.
ayında
Hopefully
da
in August we
bir
will
aksilik
have another
olmazsa
inauguration
ilk derin
ceremony.
deşarjda
The first deep
suyu
discharge
vermek istiyoruz. İnşallah
will be made
o
possible.
töreni de
Hopefully we will be
hayırlısıyla
together
yerine getiririz.
then as well.
Biz Tekirdağ'dan sizlere
We send
hürmetlerimizi arz
you
ediyoruz
our
efendim.
deepest regards from Tekirdağ. Thank you very much.
Hürmet ediyoruz efendim.
Thank you very much
Hayırlı olsun.
indeed.
Selamlar, sevgiler.
Thank you. Regards.
Tekirdağ valimiz Aziz
And
Yıldırım
our
ve
governor Aziz Yıldırım is there as well,
firma
the
sahibi
contractor
Özgür Savaş
company
Bey'e
Özgür Savaş, the
teşekkür
owner. We would
ediyorum.
like to thank them very much
Bundan
as well
sonraki
for this
süreçte de
accomplishment.
aynı kararlılıkla
We will
devam
continue to work
ettirmelerinizi
together in the upcoming period with great determination. Thank you.
Sağ olun.
Thank you very much.